What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Fish Aquatics. Today I'm going to be working on some of the tanks out here in the fish room, redoing the scapes and setting them up for some new fish that we're going to be getting, as well as some fish that we already have, but I'm not super happy with the scapes that are in the tank, so we're going to be redoing them a little bit, and I'll show you guys some of my other tanks up close and show you my fish up close to break the video up a little bit with a little bit of B-roll. So just want to talk about some of the fish that we got here now that we're going to be setting tanks up for. I have my wife got a new Oranda, so he's going to go into quarantine before he goes out into the 125 in the big tank. And then right here, this 15-gallon, I got some shrimp and some snails from Dustin J over on AquatikGuru. So I'll leave a link for his YouTube down in the description down below. But I got some shrimp and snails coming in from him. It's going to be a mixed bag of neocardinia and ram's horn snails. So I'm excited to get that set up. We're going to set that tank up today. We're also going to be setting up, if I spin the camera here, this 20-gallon tank right here. That was a tank for my male convict, but he keeps tearing up all the plants and everything in there. So we're going to pull most of those plants out and put a little bit more rockscape in there for him. And I also have a female that is down here in quarantine. She had some tapeworm, but she looks pretty good now. She's cleared up. She's put on a little weight. So we're going to move her back in with him and see if we can start breeding convicts again. And then this 29-gallon right here, I'm going to be redoing the scape on that a little bit. We're going to move the driftwood over and create a little bit more rockscape on the left side because I have some balloon rams that we're going to be putting in there. And we may add a little bit more plant decoration in there to make it a little bit more plant dense. And yeah, I think those are the three tanks that we're working with today. I don't know if I'm going to get to this other tank today. But that is the plan for right now. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, of course not because the light's in the way, right inside the light, wow, look at that, is the new red devil. So she is out in her 55-gallon right now, out and about, a lot faster than Sherbert was. He took about 2 weeks to come out of his shyness, but she's out and swimming around now, doesn't mind me walking around in here. So we'll go ahead and let's get these tanks started. Yeah, enjoy the video. Alright, well, apparently I can't use my hyperlapse tool anymore, or my time-lapse video tool, because I just went through and redid this whole scape here, which you guys saw in the intro of the video of what this looked like. None of these stones were in this orientation, and all the work I just did to it, I don't have anymore. So we're picking up where I left off when I noticed the camera wasn't recording. So basically we're just refilling the tank at this point. The male is still in here. I'm going to add the female in and then see how they do. And then we can move on to the second tank. All the plants that I pulled out of here are in one of the tanks behind me. All the original stones that were in here are still in here, so I didn't lose any of the bacteria that was growing on them. And hopefully, now that the nearite snail, there is one nearite snail in here that they don't seem to bother. Hopefully he'll be able to clean up the algae that's growing on this one plant, since now he won't have to focus on everything and he'll just be able to focus on that one plant by itself. So hopefully this will be much better for them. So there's basically in here, there's the lower cave and the upper cave, and the lower cave branches off into two different portions. So that's how I'm going to leave that, and we'll see how it works out. Alright, so since the first bit of this video didn't exactly go as planned with losing footage and stuff like that, let's look at all my other tanks real quick. we got that out of the way, back to the rescaping. Alright guys, so that's the little bit of the rescape that I'm going to do on the 29 gallon. There's still a little bit of stuff floating around and bugs in the fish room apparently. But essentially that's how it's going to look, and the reason I made these changes is because I'm going to be adding 2 balloon rams to this community tank. So basically the stone structure on the left was for them, and the structure everywhere else is for everybody. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the little bit of the rearrange on this tank. Overall, I think it's pretty nice. Hopefully once this Anacris grows up a little bit taller, I can trim it, replant it, and get the Anacris in the back a little bushier. I do have more plants I can trim and put in here. The one thing I'm going to have to keep after is all the floating plants I have, make sure they're not shading the Anacris out, because I could see that being an issue. But for right now, that's how this tank is going to look. I do have one more day left on my quarantine period for the balloon rams, so you guys will see them getting added to this tank in a future video. But I actually want to show you guys something. It's been a little bit since I redid the 20-gallon tank with the convict cichlids. I did add the female back in there, and they are already building a nest, and it's pretty interesting. So I'll show you guys that. So they're in the back left. Now, she wasn't showing a whole lot of breeding color or anything like that, but as soon as I put her in here, she's going to go back there in the cave. He's going back there as well. And they're actually digging a pit. You can see it right in here. And he's actually been taking mouthfuls of substrate and dumping it out here in the front. You can see how there's a little bit of a hump right here. Hey, buddy. And there she is. See if we can get some of her colors in here. You saw the oranges and blues there, and then her fins are actually yellow. Alright, so now that the 20-gallon is done and the 29-gallon is done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch over to the 15-gallon right here, and we're going to set this one up for some shrimp and some snails. So I got some driftwood in there, which obviously it's floating, so hopefully I'll be able to get that to sink with the little bit of gravel that we have in there. I kind of doubt it. I might have to set rocks on it. We got some plants here, and then I'm gonna pull some Java moss either out of this tank here because there's a giant ball of it, or I'll just clean up the little bit that's in here and stick it in there, just for starts. So let's get working on this one. Alright guys, so for right now this is basically what I'm going to leave it as. A little bit of driftwood, a little bit of Java moss, we got some Java fern in there, some Amazon swords. Now the Amazon swords have some algae on them. I'm going to let the driftwood grow the biofilm. I'll probably end up leaving these rocks in here, but just moving them off to the front here somewhere, or off to the sides. That way the shrimp and snails are able to eat the algae and eat the biofilm and all the bacteria growing on this stuff and be happy and healthy, as well as me feeding different vegetables. That's how that tank is going to look. Snails and shrimp, according to Dustin, are going to show up on Saturday. So Saturday, hopefully they show up. I can get them in here. Super excited about getting those guys. Super excited about my other tanks. I don't know if you noticed the streamers on that male's fins, but they're super long. I guess I can show you guys the rams that are going to go in here. They're in this tank here right now. Where are they? There they are. Little balloon rams. I think that's one. The other one must be in between the sponges. So I'm not seeing them. But those guys are going to be what's going in the 29 here. And then the 15 shrimp and snails. I'm probably going to end up adding more Java moss just because I have so much of it, and I know they're going to like climbing all over that, so I'll get some more out of there later. But that is pretty much it. Alright guys, well that pretty much sums up the video, just the rescaping of the 3 tanks. I do apologize again about the convict tank with the time-lapse system that I was using. For the rest of the video, I got rid of the original system and used a new one, so hopefully that one works a little bit better and lasts longer than the other one did. So there's that. But overall, I'm really liking the way that these tanks came out, so I'm hoping the fish enjoy them. The 29 gallon, everybody's out around and looking through. The convicts are already breeding, but that's what convicts do, so can't complain there. And I'm super excited to get some shrimp and snails in here and get those guys breeding and going too. And my wife doesn't know it yet, but if I get the snails breeding to a point where they're sustainable, I'm going to get her a puffer because she loves puffers. So stay tuned for that. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching Trapfish Aquatics. As always, links in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.